I want to speak to you. Yes, you watching this right now. Straight to your soul. I'm talking to the one who has grown tired of fighting in silence. To you who puts on that armor of I'm fine every single morning, while on the inside, you feel like you're shattering into 1,000 pieces. You've been on your knees, haven't you? With hidden tears, with a lump in your throat that barely lets you breathe, and you've asked God, Lord, where are you? Why did you promise me sunshine if all I feel is this relentless storm? Why this wall when you told me to walk? Listen to me closely. The fact that you are seeing this at this very moment is not a coincidence. It's a divine appointment. God brought you here because He wants you to know that the pain that is suffocating you today is not your end. It is the birth pangs of your miracle. Stay with me because today you are going to understand why the potter must press down on the clay to create the most beautiful vessel. And if you feel these words are already touching that deep wound, take a moment and hit the subscribe button. Become part of this family, this sanctuary, so that you never have to feel alone in your process again. Now, before I reveal the first test, we're going to do something powerful together. I want you to take all of that anguish, all of that doubt, that question of why me, and transform it into an act of faith. Go to the comments right now, and I don't want you to just type. I want you to decree from the depths of your being, with every letter full of intention, these words. God, I trust your process. Write it. Feel it. Feel how with every keystroke, you are handing over that heavy burden you've been carrying on your shoulders. Declare that even if you don't understand today, you are choosing to trust. Do it right now. God, I trust your process. And seal it in your spirit that your soul is ready to receive the peace He has for you. In the next few minutes, we will walk together through the 4 heavenly trials that every person chosen by God must pass through. I'm not just going to name them. I'm going to give you the keys to identify which stage you're in and how to overcome it with God's grace. This knowledge will not only bring you peace, but it will empower you to stop feeling like a victim of your circumstances and start becoming the hero of your divine purpose. There's a story in the Bible that tears my soul apart and rebuilds it every time I read it. It's the story of Joseph. Imagine this. You're young, full of life, and God Himself has whispered promises of greatness into your ear. You've seen in dreams the incredible purpose He has for you. You feel that fire, that certainty in your spirit. And overnight your world collapses. The very hands that should have protected you are the ones that push you into the pit. The wound of betrayal comes from your own blood. You're sold like an object, accused of something you never did, and thrown into the darkness. And then, the darkness, the cold of a prison cell. But worse than the cold stone is the cold of injustice, the silence of God. Imagine Joseph's endless nights. The questions thrown at a ceiling that doesn't answer. God, what about the dreams you gave me? Were they a lie? Have you forgotten me down here? He had every reason in the world to give up, to let his heart fill with bitterness, with hatred, with resentment. But here is the divine secret I want you to embrace today. That prison was not a punishment. It was a crucible. That loneliness was not abandonment. It was the cocoon where God was transforming him. In the silence, God was speaking louder than ever. In the darkness, He was forging Joseph's character, giving him a strength he could never have gained in the sun. God wasn't just preparing him for a throne. That was secondary. He was preparing him for the most difficult and most glorious moment of his life, to be able to look his betrayers in the eye and say, with a completely healed heart, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." That prison, that process, that silence. Does it sound familiar? Perhaps your prison today has a different name. An illness, a debt, a betrayal, loneliness. But the purpose is the same. God is forging something in you that is greater than your deliverance. He is forging a heart like Christ's. Now, let's look together at the first test He uses to begin polishing the gold within you. Test 1. The test of unshakable faith. And now the first test, the most fundamental. And perhaps the most brutal, it is the test of faith. It's that moment, that instant when the ground beneath your feet disappears. It's the doctor's report in your hand that steals your breath. It's the red numbers in your bank account that scream, impossible. It's the icy silence in your home that tells you the love is gone. It's when reality declares war on the promise God made to you. And in the middle of that deafening noise, of that storm threatening to drown you, God draws near and whispers to your soul the most important question of your life. Who are you going to believe? The shaking ground beneath your feet, or me, the everlasting rock? Do you trust what your eyes can see? Or what I have spoken? He allows you to walk blind for a moment, not so you will fall, but so you will learn the sound of his voice in the darkness. He is demolishing the sandy foundations of what you thought was secure, to build in you a trust so solid that no hurricane in life can ever tear it down. And I know it sounds crazy what the word says in James, to consider it pure joy whenever you face trials of many kinds. This isn't a superficial happiness. It's a sacred, defiant joy born from knowing that the trial isn't here to destroy you, but to build you. Listen closely. Every tear you have shed in the solitude of your room, every why whispered into the night, has not been wasted. God has collected them like liquid diamonds. Every single one is watering the root of your miracle. So, brave soul, if you are in that test today, cling to his word like a shipwrecked sailor clings to the only piece of wood that can save him. Even if your voice trembles, even if fear paralyzes you, open your mouth and declare his promises over your situation. Because God isn't just holding you in the fire. He is building in you a fireproof faith. And once you prove that your faith doesn't depend on your circumstances, once your anchor is set firmly in him, God leads you to the next test. One that challenges the very foundation of our will. The test of time. Stay with me because understanding this can free your soul from the anxiety of waiting. Test 2. The test of divine timing and patience. And now, we come to the test that can feel like a silent torture. One that doesn't attack with a sudden blow, but with the constant drip of a clock. The test of time and patience. You've weathered the initial storm, your faith is still standing, and now, silence. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, months into years. And God's promise looks like a distant star, growing dimmer and dimmer. It is the agony of the wait. And in that waiting, our minds whisper poison. Did God forget about me? Maybe I heard wrong. Is everyone moving forward except me? But why? Why does God, who holds all power, make us wait? Listen to this with your soul, because in the forced stillness of the wait, he uproots our self-reliance. We live in a microwave culture of now. But God is a master craftsman who works over a slow fire. Because he doesn't just want to give you the blessing. He wants to make sure the blessing doesn't destroy you. He wants your character to be able to hold the weight of your miracle. Think of Abraham. It wasn't 25 days. It was 25 years. 25 springs watching his body grow old. 25 winters feeling the icy chill of doubt. Imagine the doubtful stares from others, the whispers. And in every single one of those 9,125 days, God was testing his heart with one question. Do you love the miracle you are asking for? Or the God who has the power to give it? That waiting period in your life has that same divine purpose. God is calibrating your heart. He is teaching you to depend on him so deeply that when the blessing arrives, your first reaction isn't pride, but gratitude on your knees. He is teaching you the rhythm of eternity. So do not despair in what I call God's waiting room. It is not a punishment chamber. It is a sanctuary. It is not a pause in your life. It is the Master's workshop. And nothing, absolutely nothing, is wasted there. Every prayer in the waiting, every act of obedience in the silence, is weaving the tapestry of your blessing. Stay faithful. Keep praying. Because our God is the God of the suddenly. And what has taken years to form in the spiritual realm, He can bring to pass in a single day in your reality. And believe me, once you learn to wait on Him, you are ready for one of the loneliest trials, but one that is an unmistakable sign that you carry His light. Let's talk about the test of rejection. Test 3. The test of rejection for righteousness' sake. And now we come to the test that feels like an icy knife in the soul. The invisible wound that bleeds on the inside. The test of rejection. Perhaps you are living it right now. It's that strange look you get when you talk about your faith. It's the uncomfortable silence in the room when you choose not to join in on criticism or gossip. It's the empty chair beside you at a family gathering because your values no longer fit the mold. It's feeling like a stranger among the people you used to call your own. And it hurts. It hurts in a way few things can. Because it's not an attack from an enemy. It's the drifting away of a friend, the mockery of a colleague, the misunderstanding of your own family. And you ask yourself, Lord, why does walking with you sometimes feel so lonely? Listen to this with all your attention because it can change everything. The light you carry inside makes the darkness uncomfortable. When you choose to live in God's truth in a world that loves illusions, you become a mirror. And not everyone likes the reflection they see. But I want you to carry this engraved on your soul. The King of the universe, our beloved Jesus, was the most rejected man in history. The light of the world came to His own, and His own did not receive Him. He was betrayed with a kiss, denied by His closest friends, and crucified while the crowds He had healed called for His death. If you are walking in His footsteps, it is inevitable that you will pass through the same places He did. And His path, my beloved soul, was a path of rejection. So I tell you today, that rejection you feel is not a mark of shame, it is the seal of your heavenly citizenship. It is not a sign you're doing something wrong. It is the clearest confirmation that you are doing something right. Every door slammed in your face for defending your principles, every friendship lost for holding on to your integrity, every taunt for your faith, is an echo of heaven's applause over your life. It is God saying, "That one is one of mine." Do not be discouraged. Do not change. Do not dim your light to fit into boxes that have become too small for you. Because the approval of the one true God is worth infinitely more than the applause of a million people. And it is precisely this rejection, this feeling of being set apart from the world, that often pushes us into the final and most transformative test of all. The one that prepares you not just to receive, but to lead. Let's talk about the wilderness journey. Test 4. The wilderness journey. And finally, we arrive at the most intimate, most solitary, and most transformative test of all. The one that prepares you not just for your purpose, but to carry the weight of your glory. The wilderness journey. The wilderness is not a place you choose to go. You are led there. You are pushed by a force you don't understand into a place of absolute silence, of apparent emptiness. It is a season where the voices of your friends fade, the applause ceases, the phone stops ringing, and all that's left is the echo of your own voice and a deafening silence. It is a time of scarcity, perhaps of money, yes, but more profoundly, it's a scarcity of answers, of clear direction, of feeling the presence of God. And it's there, in that barrenness, that you cry out from the depths of your being, "God, why have you brought me to this place to die?" Listen to me. Just as the Spirit led Jesus into the wilderness to be tested before the heavens opened for His ministry, God isolates you so He can speak to you without the world's interruptions. In the wilderness, He takes away all the crutches you were leaning on. Your intelligence, your contacts, your strength, your charisma. He strips you of everything so that He can become your everything. In the wilderness, the masks come off. The excuses run out. You come face to face with your deepest fears, your darkest insecurities, the pride you never knew you had. It is in the wilderness that your ego dies of thirst, so that your spirit can learn to drink water from a rock that no one else sees. Moses had to spend 40 years in the wilderness. Can you imagine? For decades of being a nobody, tending sheep after being a prince of Egypt. God was burning away all his pride, all his self-sufficiency, so he could entrust him with the greatest mission in history. Your personal wilderness is not a punishment. It is the operating room of the soul. It is the most sacred and exclusive training ground there is. It is there, in the solitude, that he heals wounds you never even knew you had. It is there he gives you your spiritual gifts, where he forges in you the authority and character of a leader. So I am pleading with you, do not curse your wilderness. Do not try to run from it. Embrace it. Surrender to its silence. Because it is in the absolute barrenness of the desert, and only there, that God brings forth springs of living water that you will one day use to quench the thirst of multitudes. Do not fear the wilderness. Fear a life lived without ever having crossed it. So, brave soul, as you can see, these 4 trials, the blind faith, the agonizing wait, the painful rejection, and the lonely wilderness, are not the chains of a punishment. They are the tools of the master sculptor. He sees in you a potential so dazzling that he cannot allow you to remain a raw block of marble. And yes, the chisel hurts. The polishing burns. But with every strike, he is chipping away what you are not, to reveal the masterpiece you have always been in his mind. He is carving his reflection into you, preparing you to carry the glory of a purpose that can change your world. So today, I give you the most sacred challenge of all. Let go of the question that keeps you a victim, the why me, and embrace with all your strength the question that makes you a warrior. What for, Lord? Ask him. What part of me are you forging in this fire? How can I be a testimony of your power, not in spite of this trial, but through it? Because when you change the question, you open the door for God to show you the answer. If this message has been a balm for your soul, I ask you to do 3 things to spread this light with me. First, hit the like button. Not just as a simple click, but as a digital amen. A sign that this truth has resonated in your spirit and you want it to reach more souls who need it. Second, return to the comments. At the start, you declared your trust. Now, if you feel brave, share in 1 word which of the 4 trials you find yourself in. Your vulnerability will be a source of strength for someone else. Let's build a powerful community of wisdom and support right here. And finally, if you've made it this far and you feel that this is your place, your sanctuary, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. It's not just so you won't miss a video. It's you telling the universe and yourself, I am committed to my spiritual awakening. Overcoming the trials is your graduation from the school of the wilderness. But walking in your purpose is your life's mission. This journey of awakening we've started today is too important to end here. Once you overcome the trials, the entire universe begins to conspire in your favor. God sends you signs, whispers, and confirmations through his angels to tell you, keep going, you're on the right path. But do you know how to recognize that secret language? I have prepared a complete playlist to guide you on every step of this new beginning. And the first step is right here, in the video appearing on your screen. The journey of your soul doesn't stop. Click here. And let's continue walking toward your purpose together. And always remember, every trial is the shadow of an approaching miracle. May the light of your faith show you the way home.